And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment.
A meme featuring singer Seal on Instagram shows Oprah Winfrey kissing a disgraced mogul. The caption reads, "When you've been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly everyone sees you as the solution." This raises the question, could attendees like Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Kelly Osbourne, Justin Bieber, and Usher face federal scrutiny?
Or that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on.
Diddy's reign appears to be ending, but Oprah could be in trouble too. For years, rumors have suggested that she isn't as genuine as she seems. This moment could mark a turning point for her. Many believe that Oprah has a darker side. For instance, an old interview with the Olsen twins resurfaced, showing her as invasive and unsympathetic, especially considering their young age at the time.
If they want to write, we try not to read the good or the bad because it just kind of comes with the territory. You know, either you're too fat, you're too skinny, and people are just going to write what they
What size are you, by the way?
Size?
Yeah, I always like to know.
I'm really short.
You're not sure?
Girls, and you know.
That's so interesting. That is so interesting. I'm like obsessed with size, and you're like, I really don't know.
Mary-Kate did eventually seek treatment for an eating disorder later that year. And we progressed, and we've seen just the look on her face, how horrified Mary-Kate and her sister Ashley were when they were asked that question, and then for Oprah to laugh about it. It comes off tone deaf.
Actress Monique has accused both Tyler Perry and Oprah of sabotaging her career. Her claims have gained traction, especially since Perry admitted to playing a role in her being blacklisted. Monique also stated that Oprah took roles that were initially offered to her. Her biggest issue, however, was when Oprah invited her family on her show without telling her. She only found out her brother, who had assaulted her, would be present, which added to her distress.
Obligation to let Oprah Winfrey know how I really felt. Now I want you to understand something too. See, this is why me and Oprah Winfrey got a problem.
It's still there.
Until that woman says, let me apologize to you publicly, it'll be to the day I leave this earth. Because what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly.
If Oprah was watching this, what would you tell her?
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
Let them know what you said.
But, okay, and she said, if you think I did something wrong, I want to apologize. And what my husband taught me a long time ago, an apology is not something that you think you need to give. If somebody else thinks you need to give it, it's what you feel. So she came off like Mother Earth that she is. If you think I did something wrong. No, Oprah, it ain't what I think. You did do something wrong. You maliciously, and you had full intentions of having my parents on your show and not saying anything to me. Was that for ratings?
It seemed like she exploited the situation.
Well, you just exploiting me. There are some sisters in this business that are bout it. Regina King was there that night. Angela Bassett was there that night.
One of the biggest controversies linking Oprah to Diddy is her past connection with Harvey Weinstein. While she spoke out about women's issues during her Oscar speech, critics have noted her long collaboration with Weinstein without raising concerns. Many find it hard to believe she wasn't aware of what was happening, as she avoided directly addressing him, instead framing her comments about broader women's issues.
And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. I happened to be on set with several actresses the other day, and we were filming some things, and they were like, hadn't slept over a period of 2 or 3 days, and I was like, what is that? I said, oh, you guys are suffering from PTSD.
And when you start talking about it out loud too,
everybody has a story. Everybody has a story, and so I think this is a watershed moment. And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, there have been women who not only had the disease to please, that's a part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, in order to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I got to pretend he didn't say that, I got to pretend he didn't touch me. I think those days are about to be.
Oprah suggested that the focus shouldn't just be on Weinstein, but on the broader challenges women face. Critics felt this was convenient and deflected attention from her own accountability. What do you think? Should she have focused more on Weinstein specifically?
It isn't, you're right, Jeff. It absolutely, you're absolutely right.
But a lot of women have been silenced, and I know
But I think it's going to change.
being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too.
Yeah.
So,
And you've been speaking about it for a while.
Following her Oscar speech, Seal remarked that Oprah has been part of the problem for years, but now wants to appear virtuous.
Publicly supported victims of sexual assault in the wake of numerous allegations against Harvey Weinstein, singer Seal Instagrammed this meme, showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul. It reads, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all..."
This moment is a really powerful time for everybody to get woke.
Rose McGowan, one of the first actresses to speak out about Weinstein, also criticized Oprah, calling her out for neglecting victims of abuse and labeling her as insincere.
Rose McGowan has put Oprah on blast. Rose recently called out Oprah on Twitter over her past associations with some controversial men. Rose wrote, quote, "From being pals with Harvey Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons' victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come." And just to refresh your memory, music producer Russell Simmons has been accused of rape by at least 15 women. Last year, Oprah pulled out of a documentary that's highlighting their stories because she and the filmmakers apparently did not see eye to eye on that project.
Remember, Kevin Hart is a longtime friend of Diddy and is close to both Oprah and Tyler Perry. He even claimed Oprah loves him like family. It's clear they are all interconnected. Hart was also in a now infamous video where Diddy joked about fighting over Frosted Flakes.
Opinion, one of the ones that affects me the most is Justin Bieber.
Do you have the Kevin Hart one?
Which is odd, Pat, because he gets caught saying that he would wake up next to him and then he changes it and says we would fight off over the Frosted Flakes. Even Kevin Hart is uncomfortable because you're admitting that you were sleeping next to a freaking child. And it's like, I'm tired of hearing all these stories and people just laugh about it. We giggle like, this is it right here.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it. You did.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. I should look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. I should.
Fresh off the guard stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, but like, that's how. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up earlier than me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world.
Yo, what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes. And we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid.
Listen. We're having a good time, yo. Your usher made it in. Hey, yo.
Some find it suspicious that Kevin Hart closed his restaurants shortly before Diddy's arrests. While some have tried to dismiss these concerns, the connections between them make this situation noteworthy.
Right around the time that Diddy gets busted, Bubba. For those of y'all who don't know, Kevin just shut down all 4 of his vegan restaurants in California after only being open for 2 years. And it's not like they weren't successful. Even Kim Kardashian was tweeting about how amazing his meatless burgers were. Meatless burgers. Good question though, Bubba. Does it have anything to do with this? And also, why the hell are you two so sweaty together? But to be fair, the super thorough fact checkers are saying that this is debunked and it couldn't be it because Kevin closed his restaurants on the 11th and Diddy got arrested on the 16th. Oh, but what's this? Diddy moved back to New York 11 days before the 16th because he knew that he was going to be arrested by federal authorities. And I think it's fair to assume, since him and Kevin are such BFFs together, that he would have let Kevin know exactly what was going on ahead of.
Regardless of Kevin's involvement, he's aware of the power dynamics in Hollywood. He previously advised Kelly Clarkson to be cautious with her words to avoid trouble.
And then, I don't know if you've had this, but I've had people throw millions of dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And you've been on. Oh, they're in the room.
Yeah. That was my way of cueing you. Like, it's open now.
Yeah. You want me to keep talking about it?
By all means, let's keep talking.
But don't do it.
Yeah. No, of course.
It's likely that former attendees of Diddy's parties are feeling uneasy and may be questioned by federal investigators soon.
Parties.
I said, everybody, come on over to the house.
While it's not a crime to attend a Diddy event, several of the civil lawsuits allege sex crimes occurred during those wild parties.
I've got a lot I can't tell. Can't tell that one either.
The question now, could past attendees like Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Kelly Osbourne, Justin Bieber, and Usher be potentially questioned by federal investigators?
Oh my God. I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
There were very curious things taking place.
Anyone who attended one of Diddy's parties dating back decades should be concerned. So Diddy's rich and powerful friends should make sure they have lawyers on standby. The feds may come knocking.
Former federal prosecutor Nir Rahman has stated that wealthy individuals tied to Diddy are likely consulting their lawyers right now.
I do, and I'm here in Hollywood, and Diddy's parties were notorious and one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood. If I were one of those rich and famous celebrities and I participated in sex acts, I would be very concerned. I would be talking to a lawyer. At best, I'm a witness. At worst, I'm a co-defendant. And I thought that the feds were actually thinking about potentially charging others, and that's why it took 6 months to arrest and indict Diddy, but it turns out that wasn't the case. But if you believe U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, and I do, in the reports, there are at least 50 witnesses that the feds have spoken to, and I bet that some of those were participants in the sex act.
There's a growing desire for accountability among the rich, especially after the fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein case.
They are, and I think they should. Obviously, very different case, but one of the criticisms of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation is that the rich and famous people that participated in the sex acts were never brought to justice. And even Epstein himself got a sweetheart deal, probably because he was very rich and well connected. So, if there are other celebrities, they shouldn't get a free pass merely because of their wealth or their fame. And, I think that the U.S. Attorney's Office going after Diddy, obviously he's going to be their main target. But if there's other people that were participants, they too should be prosecuted.
A long list of people is already linked to Diddy's questionable actions, and the focus is shifting to identifying those who enabled or witnessed these events.
That there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And certainly if you were involved, you would get a call, because they're going to want to know everything you want to know, and may even want you to be a witness. I just think, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve. And the feds have said that this remains an open investigation. There could be more charges for Diddy. There could be more charges for other people involved. And usually the way this works is once they find out other people are involved or were witnesses, they bring them in and they sort of lean on them, and it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So this is going to be a slow developing a case here, because we're just getting started, and I don't see how this trial begins anytime before next year.
So far, Oprah has managed to evade trouble, but with Kevin Hart now in the mix, how long can she remain safe? Will we soon uncover the truth about her? Share your thoughts in the comments. For more updates, don't forget to hit the bell icon.